Back to WKYT News here on your Friday heading into Derby weekend. And in the Kentucky Derby, the horses, of course, get all of the attention. But what about the jockey? Where do they get their start? Well, for some of them, their starting gate is in a classroom at Bluegrass Community Technical College. It's home to a unique thoroughbred simulator and the only jockey school in the United States. WKYT's Garrett Weimer and photojournalist Darnell Crenshaw show us what makes this equine program so special.
And they're off.
It's close to being a real-life jockey. And it's a workout.
A lot of your muscles.
Haley Page is a student at Bluegrass Community and Technical College, where she's training to become a jockey. BCTC has the only jockey school in the country. Today she's working on the MK simulator. This is the only model of its kind in the U.S.
All right, so think about in your two-point position, knees behind the toes.
Dixie Kendall is the equine program coordinator.
It allows me to work with a student on their balance, their form, without the dangers that would come working on a live horse.
The simulator horse, named Woe Back, is sensitive to pressure points the jockey is placing on a horse, including if you're off balance.
Find the rhythm with the horse.
Kendall teaches basic riding technique to another student, jockey Cassidy Kellison.
You're going to do your forward motion movement, and you're going to think about through the shoulders.
A lot of the focus is on rider safety.
Get an understanding of how a horse is going to feel like, how you need to hold your body position, because if you're too far forward and they drop a shoulder, you're going to go off.
A recent study in Maryland showed on average a jockey fell once every 4 race days.
They have a mind of their own, you know? I mean, it's dangerous riding in a car, but it has an engine. You can shut it off. You can't shut off a horse.
The reward for Kendall is seeing a former student in the winner's circle. On her very first mount in the profession, jockey Erica Herforth won her first race, and it happened at Churchill Downs.
That was more exciting than when I won my first race as a licensed trainer.
Before the students get their jockey silks, they have to start on the ground floor, mucking the stalls. They have 12 former racehorses boarded at Thoroughbred Center that can teach these young jocks the reins.
The jockey definitely takes a lot, because you got to be very mentally and physically fit.
On this Oaks Day, young ladies waiting for their turn in the saddle, and then the winner's circle. In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
And the equine program at BCTC also teaches students about breeding, sales, and other capacities of the horse industry.